Good evening, everyone. Sorry it's a little bit late and a little bit dark, but this is Zim Gin Time. A big thanks to Zimbabwe Gin, Small Town Stills, for sponsoring this little segment. It is a little look back on the week I've had, and maybe a look forward to the week I'm going to have. So as most of you would know, I climbed Kilimanjaro. I summited on Sunday, got back down the mountain Monday, so to that, cheers. So this week's pretty much been a little bit more of a recovery week. Got down on Monday, as I said, drove from Mosi to Arusha. I stayed with a guy called Keith Charters. My brother actually worked for his brother Dale, which was pretty cool, so I managed to catch up there. He actually builds camps, wild bush camps, which is pretty cool. So big thanks to him and his family for hosting me on Monday night. Tuesday I drove to the outside of Serengeti, which is another national park. After that I actually went into the national park, drove around for the day, and then drove out. You can already hear the hyenas. I'm properly bush camping tonight, deepest, darkest. It's gonna be an interesting one. From there, where did I go? From there I went into my Gombe camp, which was a stunning camp. Just rolling green grass, clean ablutions, swimming pool, just everything you kind of wanted, which was pretty cool. So I actually stayed an extra day there. I did pick up a bit of a tummy bug, so I have been on the R&R at the moment, but yeah, other than that I am rested and recovered. I drove pretty much to the Serengeti or Ngorongoro crater. I did not go down into the crater. I kind of skirted around the outside, along the top of the rim. I did look down. It does look like a pretty cool spot, but loads of vehicles running around there, these modified Land Cruisers that yeah, they just run at 1,000 miles an hour, and it's chaos. I'll let the wind die down a little bit. Yeah, so I drove around there. It took me a good 3 hours to drive across and then get to the edge of the Serengeti. And then from there I did a 2.5 hour drive kind of northeast to the Serengeti, to Lobo Special Campsite 1 is where I'm at the moment, and it is just bush. There's the guy came and dropped me off, or kind of showed me where it was, and then he was like, yep, good luck, we'll see you tomorrow. So I think it might be an early bed for me tonight. Arrived here pretty late, so not really much time to set up a good camp and get firewood going and stuff. So as you can see, it's pretty late, pretty dark already. Most of this is from lights in and around me here. Yeah, so tomorrow either I get to the border and spend the night at the border and then get over the next day, or depending if I can find a quick route from here to the border, then I'll try and get over tomorrow. That's over the border into Kenya. From Kenya I'll probably go to the Masai Mara, spend maybe one night in the Masai Mara, and then from there go north into Nairobi. So if anyone knows anyone in Nairobi, give me a shout. I'd love to catch up with them, hopefully get a nice bed to stay in and a hot shower. But other than that, feeling good. I would say kind of a little bit over East Africa, to be honest. Tanzania has been very expensive and not very hospitable for the self-driver, for the overlander. It seems to be very expensive. Even just doing the transition through the Ngorongoro crater into Serengeti, I've had to pay twice. Entry fees twice to the parks, because they've classified them as two different parks and they're not the same, and they are different entities, so you have to pay twice. So $200 is quite expensive, especially kind of just transitioning through. And it seems the guys here are used to the tourists and are used to the handouts and the massive tips, and it's, listen, good on them, but don't expect to do a little bit more work than just put your hand out and ask for a tip, which it seems to be happening. It kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth after the Kilimanjaro trip. Just wait for the wind. You know, we started discussing tips, and it seemed like I was paying wages. I wasn't paying tips. You know, tips is an added benefit, not just an expected thing. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we'll keep going. Yeah, so I'm just a little bit annoyed by that. It frustrates me, especially as I had a bit of a number in my head, and what he came back with really blew it out the water. And does he deserve it? In the real grand scheme of things, probably yes. Can I afford it? Probably no. You know, but it's just it's expected nowadays, which is a bit annoying. But you know, he did take me up and down Kilimanjaro, so. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, other than that, it's beautiful. You know, Serengeti is just this vast expanse of land, and had heaps of animals, which was nice. I'm gonna get my spotlight out, just do a quick 360. I did hear that hyena. Just go check for eyes. You know, they did, yeah, as I say, it just annoyed me a little bit about the expectation of tips. You know, tip is for added extra, not to pay salary, in my view. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, I will be doing a full, probably tomorrow or Sunday, I'll do a full kind of story blog about my trip up the mountain. Everyone said don't underestimate her, and I did, 100%, just because I was lulled into a false sense of security with the first 3 days, and then the fourth one really came up and bit me. But a lot of interesting perspectives from that, and I'm quite looking forward to kind of catching up and going into a bit of a deep dive with that. But for now, I am going to go and get some food quick, and then I'm probably going to jump into bed fairly shortly after that, because I can't see what's looking at me, which makes me very nervous. But we'll see what happens. Okay guys, as I say, happy Zim Gin Time. Hope you have a great evening. Stay safe this weekend. And for all those that running a sky run this weekend, good luck, be careful, and don't overdo it, but do push yourself. Your body is a lot stronger than you think. So enjoy, and catch you guys later. Bye.